Hi everyone. Like Varun introduced, I'm Aditya, and I'm really excited to speak on today's topic, which is meaningful dashboards for your business. I personally, love creating dashboards, and we all, love creating dashboards. Everyone in our analytics team. So analytics is very important for every business nowadays, not only for marketers, but also for stakeholders to take, to see the direction in which company is going, and and take necessary steps for improvement. We have, here today, analytics professionals as well as marketing professionals joining us. So I can really promise that there will be some solid takeaways after this presentation. So why do we really need to create dashboards? I can talk about dashboards all day, but why do we actually need to create them? I think most important use of dashboard is that they really help stakeholders make the right business decisions, right? These people, need single view of their business, and that is something which dashboards can provide, a single view where they can see where in which direction business is going, right? So they need quick decisions. They need to make quick decisions, and dashboards can really help them make that. So Shilpa, you anything in there?
Yeah, everyone, looking forward to a great discussion today. Why do we want to create dashboards? What are dashboards? Dashboards are really, in my sense, they're a collection of widgets, that can give you an overview of reports and metrics that you really care about, and you tie it's very important that we tie our business objectives to them. And dashboards vary in complexity and purpose. Some dashboards, they contain one or two simple reports that are designed to display basic information. But are they really dashboards? But in our view, we'll talk about meaningful dashboards that should contain insights that are mined from data. Maybe we can move to others.
So dashboards, they are not created in silo. So there is a proper methodology. You need to plan things to come out with meaningful dashboards. On a very high level, if I talk, so it's a three-step process. First, you need to create your measurement model. So this is a model which leads us to the key metrics which are important to your business. This is an important phase because if this goes wrong, everything goes wrong. And we'll discuss about this in detail in our latest slide. The second step is the analytics implementation. So analytics implementation will happen as per what we have in our measurement model. So whatever we want to measure in our measurement model, we need to implement the same in our website, right? And that's how we collect the data. And the third and final step is the dashboard. So from the data which has been collected from our implementation, we find the right data, filter the right data, and create dashboards. Shilpa, your view on this?
Yeah, so we have to follow a proper dashboard methodology before we really create these dashboards. We should know what are our business objectives. We should tie those objectives to the KPIs. We should also know that we will get these KPIs from these data sources. What are the most important marketing metrics for us to use? For example, how can we measure various marketing programs that impact on revenue and profit? Then, if you have this objective, then you decide your KPIs accordingly. Your dashboard should really help drive your revenue for your business and achieve faster growth for your company. So those kind of insights should come out of the dashboard, and we should use appropriate methodology to create such dashboards.
Right, I agree with that. So before we learn about the measurement model, it's very important to know that all the metrics and dimensions which we'll figure out in the measurement model should fall under three buckets of dashboards, right? And the three buckets are acquisition, behavior, and outcome. So acquisition is nothing but how you want to acquire your customers, right? So it's all about that. Everything, every metric and dimension which gives you data about acquisition or how you are getting your customers to your website. It can be through organic medium, SEO. It can be through a paid medium, PPC. It can be through a social medium, right? So those are the acquisition channels. Behavior is all about what people do on your website, right? So are they watching a video? Are they spending enough amount of time? Do they come frequently on your website? How many pages do they consume in a session? So whatever activity a user does on a website, that's his behavior, right? So any metric or dimension will fall in behavior category. Outcome is what is all about conversions. So it can be a micro conversion or a macro conversion. Micro conversion is not exactly the final conversion, but a penultimate step which can lead to a macro conversion, like downloading a PDF or downloading a white paper, signing up for a webinar. So these can be counted as a micro conversion, and a macro conversion is directly submitting an inquiry or directly contacting you. So that can be counted as a macro conversion.
And there can be different kind of KPIs metrics that we can use. For example, we have revenue metrics that we can use to reflect the marketing aggregate impact on company's revenue. Then there are some diagnostic metrics. What is working? What can be better? These metrics will deliver insights into your current performance, often by comparing either the historical data or the competitors or marketplace benchmarks. There could be some leading indicators. These metrics help you look forward and forecast future results. So that is how you can tie the entire story together for measuring the micro and macro conversions.
Great. So let's come to the analytics measurement model, which is the base for creating dashboards. So it's a four-step process where first we need to identify the objective. So objective is nothing but reason for existence of your website, right? So you need to find why does your website exist, and the objective does not have to be 5 to 10 years of objective, but how do you plan to acquire customers or bring visitors to your website in the next 6 to 12 months? Because that's really the key. And for this you need to talk to the senior executive of the organization and talk to them, understand what they need, understand what they need to measure. After objective, for each objective you need to define a goal for each objective. And for every goal you need to define KPIs. And for every KPIs you need to define segments. Shilpa, you need to, can you add some insights in this?
Sure. So we have an analytics measurement model, as we just discussed. We need to have an objective. For each of the objectives, we have goals and KPIs and segments. So when we have various KPIs, so for each of those KPIs, we can have segments. Let me give another example where we talk about revenue metrics. And we are looking at business performance metrics and KPIs. we can look at lead generation versus targets or the cycle time. What is the aggregate impact on company's revenue using revenue metrics? Then we can also see what is the conversion rate with respect to the trend or the benchmark. We have to choose no more than say 5 KPIs, because it is really hard to put the organizational focus on more than that. So you have to choose your KPIs very wisely. We have to measure success versus goals for those metrics for every campaign, every channel, every sales, every product, etc. And we can also show some trending for those metrics over time, that you can immediately see where you are improving and where you are not. Yeah.
Excellent. So we have a sample measurement model, to explain how this works, and it will really help you create a measurement model for your business. So in this model, we have identified 2 objectives. First is branding. So an organization, wants to do branding, and the second objective is generate leads, and everybody, wants to generate leads, right? So this can be for everyone. So goals for branding would be, use paid or earned media to create brand awareness. And goals for lead generation, what we identified was thought leadership resource and blogs, email campaigns, and contact form. For each goal, we have KPIs. So for paid or earned medium, we have identified a KPI as 5,000 visitors per month as a blog traffic, and for blog traffic of 2,000 visitors, and for thought leadership, we have identified KPI as 100 of downloads, 50 of form fill-ups, 50 of webinar registrations, 5 of new customers. And for each KPIs, we have segments like traffic sources, engaged visitors, segmenting by practice area. This is actually for a law firm, right? So they wanted to segment their visitors by practice areas. That's really important for them. For lead generation, so segments would be traffic sources that can be paid, organic, social, frequency and recency, how frequently visitors are visiting, how recently they have visited the website, again the practice area, and they wanted to filter it by country. Now, once you create your measurement model with objectives, goals, KPIs, and segments, you need to verify that each segment, each matrix which you have identified is coming under 3 buckets, which we talked about before: acquisition, behavior, and outcome. Right? If there is something missing in any of these buckets, or any of these buckets are completely missing, that means you need to rework on your measurement model one more time because it's incomplete. So it's a double check for your measurement model. Analytics implementation. Now, this is the second part, the second step which we talked about after the measurement model. So analytics implementation can take place with any tool which you have, which you might have identified. It can be Google Analytics, Web Trends, Omniture, or any other tool. We have actually written a very good blog on selection of analytics tool, so you can go to a blog and read that. So tools are not important. I think it's very important to create a measurement model, and whatever you want to measure, if that can be measured using Google Analytics, you can take a free version of that. If there is something which Google cannot measure, then you need to identify the other tools like Omniture, WebTrends that can fulfill your requirement, right? Shilpa, you want to add something on this?
No, I think I'm done.
Okay. So once the measurement model is ready, you have implemented everything as per your measurement model on your website. So I think then the platform is ready for dashboards. Now you can allow 15, 20, 30 days or 60 days for data to come in your website so that you can actually create dashboards. Right, Shilpa, what do you think about in terms of how much time should we give for data to be in a tool so that we can analyze or create dashboards?
So once you have implemented your Google Analytics or Omniture, you should obviously keep checking each and every day whether the data is flowing correctly. And in order to make accurate comparison, we should have at least 15 or 30 days of data to really start measuring these things.
Okay, right. So there are key points which we wanted to discuss, when creating dashboards, and these are some of the points which we think are really important. One is the type of charts. So there are different types of charts which we use. One is pie chart, and I strongly believe that when you should only use pie charts when you are comparing percentage, because you cannot see real numbers when you see a pie chart. So bar chart is much better when you want to compare numbers. So in a single view, you can directly see which bar is going high, which is on the higher side, and you can really see the trend, right? Line chart, it really shows you the trend. So if you want to look at the trend, what has happened in the last 12 months, how was your traffic on your website in the last 12 months, I think the line chart gives you better insight. In which month there was a peak, which month was a deep dive. So this can really help you identify the problems in terms of which month has performed better, which month has performed worst. Shilpa, you have any views on this?
Right. I think I will add a couple of points here. I think whenever we create either of these charts, it's very important they are properly labeled, especially in terms of time period, because if we do not have the right time period labeled and everything, it is difficult to make insights. So for me, labeling of all the charts is very important. Using similar colors for similar products is important, and things like that.
Okay. So this is the thing. I think you were talking about colors.
Right.
So I think use of colors and fonts are really important. So it has to be in contrast. As you can see, we have two charts. These are two very similar charts, absolutely similar, but the only difference is the color. The one on the left-hand side is in a contrast with the white and blue, so you can really see things with your eye, and it's really not adding to any noise. But when you add multiple colors, what we see on the right-hand side, it's really adding noise, and it's not really clear, right? So use colors in contrast, white and black, white and blue. Use a black background and use white bar charts. So it has to be in contrast so that it does not add any noise. And you need to use simple fonts. Fonts are also important, because if don't use fancy and cursive fonts, because that's really difficult to difficult to see. And avoid capitalization. That's another important thing. Whenever you write anything, write it in the sentence format, because it really helps for users to read that. Whenever it's a complete capital sentence, it's very difficult to read. You can try it out. I've tried it out myself, and I've got feedback from customers also. So avoid capitalization. That's very important. So we have some sample dashboards which we would like to show you, so that You can see how they look like. So here we have a very simple dashboard. This has been created using Google Analytics dashboard. So let's see what we have here. So we have trend section for visits for a month. Excellent. This is the acquisition section, which talks about visits by traffic type. So we have traffic from direct sources, paid, organic, referral, CPC. So this section talks about the acquisition. Average visit duration. So this is behavior. So it's talking about what people are doing on your website. So we have people coming from United States, Canada, okay. We have people who are visiting with an average time of 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, this talks about behavior, okay. And the third section talks about conversion. So which traffic source has given me more conversions, which date has how many conversions. So we have all the three buckets out here, right? Acquisition is here, behavior is here, and conversion is here. So excellent. Here we have another dashboard. This is again Google Analytics. So we have visits by traffic sources again, and excellent. Using a pie chart, like we talked about. If we have to segment by percentage. The best use of pie chart, visits by traffic sources, acquisition is here. Internal site search and percentage search. So what people are doing, people are searching on website these following terms. So this is the behavior of a user. So behavior section is also here, right? And goal completion and conversion rate. So conversion section is also there. So excellent. Acquisition is also here, behavior is also here, and conversions. All the three things are there in this dashboard. Excellent. But, are these really dashboards? I don't think so. They're dashboards. So because I believe dashboard is something which provides insights to stakeholders. That's what we talked about in our initial slide, right? So if we see these dashboards, are these dashboards providing any insight? It has acquisition section, it has behavior section, which talks about what people do. It has goal completions and conversion rate, but it doesn't, as a stakeholder, if I am a CEO or CMO of a company, I look at this and see, I don't find anything interesting in this, and it's very difficult for me to drill down in an analytics tool and see what things are all about. Right? So if these are not dashboards, what are they? These are data pukes, right? Because these are just right filtering of the data in form of a dashboard. But these are not dashboards, right? These are just data pukes. Dashboard is something which provides insights to a user, and they are not doing that.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah.
Anything you want to say on this?
No, let's move on.
Excellent. So in order to make smart decisions, you need four things, right? So any stakeholder or decision maker in your company, if they want to make smart decisions, they need four things, right? They need access to data. They need somebody needs ability to analyze, slice, dice, drill up, interesting data points that performs. Ability to understand what caused the performance, and power to make decisions.
Right.
But as a stakeholder, they don't have time to do all the three things we have, 1, 2, and 3. They only have the power to make decisions. So they need something which gives them, something in words, something which is written properly.
Right. So on the first point on the previous slide, when we talk about you need access to data, I would like to add just a small thing there. You need to define your data collection and storage approaches. How will you collect your data across multiple channels, which can be your customer database or ad networks or search engines? You need to build your data warehouse internally or rely on outside agencies or analytics providers. So access to data, access to right data using the right sources, which will tie to your business objectives. That's also a very important part of the process. So what is it?
Yeah, so if we see this image, we will see that as we move higher in the ladder, so people who are CEOs, CMOs, they have less access to data. They have less ability to drill down and analyze because they don't know analytics tools, and they don't have the time to learn the analytics tools. They don't understand the correlation and causation. So people like us, senior analysts or data analysts, they have access to data. They have the ability to drill down and analyze. They understand the correlation and causation effect. So they are the people who need to provide right insights in front of these people.
Right. And the dashboards for different levels of marketers or CMOs will differ. For example, the CEO and CFO, they care mostly about revenue and profit. How much faster the company is growing now versus last quarter, last year. That's what should be in the dashboard for a CMO or CFO. For people like senior analysts and all, they need powerful tools where you can segment the data, you can slice and dice the data in order to find really insights for making improvements on the website. Yeah.
Right. So the question comes, what is expected from our dashboard? I think we've already discussed that. The expectations from the senior management is insights, recommendations, and business impact. So your dashboard should cover insights about what you have analyzed. Based on the insights, you should have your recommendations, because you as an analyst, or we as an analyst can drill down and tell recommendations based on the historical data or whatever data we have in the dashboard, and what business impact these recommendations can have, right? So these are the things which are important for stakeholders. So the question comes, are these data cubes people who consume this data do not have the time or the zeal to learn analytics tools. They need data in form of in which they can be consumed directly. And these data cubes are really helpful for an analyst like me or Shilpa, who need to drill down, who can really see the trends using these data cubes and tell insights, write recommendations, tell what business impact it can have, right? So these data cubes are really helpful for us, but for CEOs, CFOs, I don't think so. But if somebody in the team really knows how to run an analytics tool, maybe it's very helpful for them, right? What do you think, Shilpa?
Yeah, I completely agree.
So a dashboard structure, an ideal dashboard structure should be like this one, like we discussed. It should have an acquisition, behavior, and conversion data cubes. And along with that, it should have insights, recommendations, and business impact.
Yeah, insights, recommendations, and business impact is really, really important. So if you have an Excel dashboard where you have several tabs, like the last tabs are, where you have processed all the data. The first two tabs are, the executive dashboard. But the first tab, which is your main tab, should have the insights, recommendations, and business impact. That's the methodology we also follow. follow for all our dashboards.
Right. Because it's the words, which senior management are really interested in. They are not interested in data. They don't have the time to see the data and analyze that. So if we need to segregate dashboards, we have segregated into 3 parts. First is CDPs. These are customized data views, which we already discussed about. Second is tactical dashboards, and third is strategic dashboards. So as the term, we'll not talk about CDPs because we have already talked about them a lot in our previous slides. So tactical dashboards are, as the name suggests, it helps to take tactical decisions. Mostly, it is used by VPs and the managers. These are the dashboards designed for specific needs. Right. So let's say a marketing manager who wants to know the performance of his marketing campaign in the last 3 months, then he would require the information just about those campaigns and nothing else. Right. He's not interested in anything else, anything related to social media or anything else. Just that specific campaign which has run for the last 3 months, he's interested in, and he wants to see insights of that. So that's a tactical dashboard. Tactical dashboard, I think we have an example. Yeah, so we have an example from Avinash Kaushik. I think it's an excellent example. This is a behavior dashboard for 3 blog posts published on June, July, and August. So let's see how it works. So as we can see that it has a behavior bucket, a conversion bucket, but it doesn't have an acquisition bucket. Now, since it is a tactical dashboard, he's not interested to know where the traffic came from. He wanted to just know the behavior, and it's right there, right? So we have CDPs, insights, and recommendation in this. Let's look at that. So customized data views, yeah, so we can see the charts, right? So CDPs are there. Insights, yeah. So as we can see, we have key insights and recommendations there. In August 2012, the conversion rate has increased and the amplification rate has down. So these are the type of insights people are interested in. They want to know what has increased, what has decreased, right? Recommendations, right? It's already there, right? So implementation and email marketing programs will enhance the blog. So these type of recommendations you need to give to your clients, right? Let us move. So strategic dashboards. Strategic dashboards are something which we create for CEOs, CMOs, CFOs who want to see the big picture of the company, right? So whatever they don't have the time to see what has happened on a tactical level, what has happened in the last 3 months. They want to see a big picture in terms of what has happened in how sales have moved in the last 12 months, or how profitable the company is as compared to the last year. Right.
There could be other examples of strategic KPIs. For example, the customer churn rate. When we say that the customer churn rate, it's really the percentage of customers that do not remain loyal to the organization, either by failing or to make a repeat purchase or by canceling the service. Now, how do you measure the customer churn rate? It's the total number of lost or cancelled customers, which is divided by the total number of active customers over a given period of time. So part of these strategic dashboards could be some of the strategic KPIs like customer churn rate, or in social media, it is the net promoter score also, which it is a percentage of consumers that will recommend an organization to friends and family.
Right. So as this is an example of an excellent strategic dashboards. And as you can see, it has a snapshot of the complete business right there. And you can see the audience growth. You can see search engine keyword rankings up and down. You can see the engagement rate, RSS feed growth, value per acquisition, task completion. Everything is there right there in a single screen. We have the data views on the right-hand side, which talks about the audience growth, the RSS subscription growth rate, and in the trend line, we can really see how it is improving. On the left-hand side, we have the key insights, we have the recommendations, and we have the impact of the business. So these are the type of dashboards the top senior management is looking for. They can see the complete single view of their business in a single sheet. That's what they want. Right? Shilpa, what do you think? Can we add anything in this?
No, I think I'm good at this.
Excellent. And apart from that, it covers everything, in terms of the three buckets which we talked about, the acquisition, behavior, and conversions. Everything is there. So it is a complete dashboard. So this brings us to the end of the webinar, and I hope that there was some very good takeaways for everyone in this webinar, and now we are open for any questions we have.
Thank you so much for that useful insight, Shilpa and Aditya. We do have a few questions. So the first one I'm taking right now. So can you recommend any tools for analytics and dashboard creation?
So before there are a lot of tools for analytics and dashboard creation. I think we need to define our measurement model first. What exactly do we want to measure? And depending on what exactly what do we want to measure, I would use the tools accordingly. For example, I want to measure the website performance. Then tools specific to website performance, say Google Analytics or Omniture and things like that. If I'm more interested in measuring the campaign performance, then maybe if I'm doing marketing automation, then Eloqua Analytics might give me the right KPIs and data sources. So it really depends what you're trying to measure.
Right. And like we discussed, that measurement model is the base for everything. So if a free tool like Google Analytics can measure all the things which you have identified in your measurement model, then I think Google Analytics is good enough, because it's a free tool. You can track 100 million rows free of cost. You can do that. And if there is something which so everything depends on your measurement model, what exactly you want to track. So tools are not important, I think. So it's very important to identify what you want to measure, and if that is measurable using free tools, use that, no problem.
Okay. So the next one is, how can an analyst estimate business impact?
An analyst, I think an analyst is the only person who can identify business impact, because he is the person who is looking into your data for the last 3, 4, 12 months, and he has those insights, right? He has been looking, and he has the power to drill down and see everything, and he's the only person who can do that. You, as a senior leader or a senior management person, you cannot do that. So you have to rely on the right person. If you have hired a good person, or you have hired a good agency who have the right people to do that, I think they are the right guys to do that.
And also it's important that you follow a process to determine the business impact from your data. For example, once you have defined the measurement model in order to evaluate the business impact, you are measuring the right KPIs for your business objectives, and it's important that you also integrate your sales transaction data to determine the business impact with other KPIs.
Okay. So the next one is there any tool that measure video performances on real time?
Video performance in real time? You can measure video performance using Google Analytics. In fact, any tool, I believe, using tags, event tracking, you can measure, performance of a video, how much time people have spent, viewing that video, how much, how many times the play button has been clicked, how many times people have completely viewed that video, how many times people have viewed, X number of minutes. So that is something, if you have advanced implementation of any analytics tool with event tracking and tags, I think you can measure that.
Right, and also the tool that is hosting your videos have their own set of analytics, and they also gather that data. So that data source sometimes also proves to be more accurate, where they will give you KPIs, where the tool itself will collect the data for you, and you can evaluate your video performance.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So if you want to track, the performance of videos, especially your videos which are hosted on YouTube. So YouTube will give you a different analytics, what they track. But if you want to track activity of a user on your website of that specific video, you need to implement, some advanced implementation of analytics using event tracking. So similarly, if you're hosting a video on Brightco, then Brightco will give you its own analytics, but something which you want to track on your website, you need to do some custom implementation of analytics to track that. But you can always track that, no problem.
Okay. So the next one is, which is better, one-page dashboard or multiple-page dashboard?
I think if it's not about single page or multiple pages, right? It's about providing insights to your senior leaders or people who are viewing that dashboard. If a single page can solve that purpose, if a single page is able to solve your purpose, if it has everything which you want to see, I think single page is good enough. But if you need multiple pages, and I think that it's not about pages, it's all about, if you are covering everything if you can cover everything in single page, it's good enough. It's not about pages, I believe. Audio not connected.
Okay. So there are few more questions, but we'll have to get back to them after the webinar. Thank you all for joining us the webinar. I hope it will help you create meaningful dashboards for your business. The recording for today's webinar will be available on our website within the next 3 business days. We'll also be sharing the webcast URL with all the attendees via email. Meantime, please feel free to reach out to us at contact@edynamic.net for any questions